Thank you, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning into IPEVO's webinar. My name is Michael, and today we have a very special guest. His name is Kids Bets Masters, and today's topic is Teach on YouTube, growing educational YouTube channel with blended learning in IPEVO. Kid Betsmaster, he's a content creator for the YouTube channel Gorilla Physics. He's also the head of the science of Abbottsville, a secondary school in the United Kingdom. And then before we dive into today's topic, let's talk a little bit about what's new at IPEVO. Okay, so recently we have a lot of new activities going on in IPEVO. And so what's new? First of all, we released two new products recently. First of all is our DoCam document camera. And the second one is our mirror cam. Okay. And second of all, we released one slightly modified product, which is our VZR document camera. And last but not least, we changed iDocam's icon. Okay, so let's dive into these three topics for today. So for our recent release, our DoCam document camera, it's this device right here. Okay, it looks very flat. Keep in mind, there are three common features for IPEVO's products. We try to say that, we intend to say that we try to make it very affordable and powerful and very simple to use, very portable as well. So for example, in this case, as you can see, it's very small, flat, and lightweight. I'll show you how lightweight it is in a second. So it's very portable in the sense that you can put in your backpack, in your bag, your duffel bag, in your pocket, and you're good to go. You can carry it to any conference room, good for any conference calls, video phone calls. You can use it as a document camera as well. Okay, so once you fold it up, it looks like this. Looks kind of like a pencil case. And once you open it up, it looks like this. Okay, it comes with a camera right here. If you point it forward towards you, you can use it as a webcam. Okay, if you simply lower down the camera head, you can use it as a document camera. Okay, so what's so special about this document camera? It's the lightest document camera ever featured by IPEVO. Perhaps it is the lightest document camera out on the market right now. How lightweight is it? I'll show you how lightweight it is. First of all, let me untangle all the cables, USB cables right here at the back. And since there's actually a hole right here, I can use this hole. Do you see this hook back here? I can simply hook it up onto this wall mount right here. And then I can use it as a webcam if I want. Okay, so let's say if I'm a maker ed teacher, if there's like a movement or anything, I want to teach my maker students how to create their own maker machines, maker activities and whatnot. You can use something like this to record the entire lesson, to record the entire session if you want. It's not that I recommend you guys to use it this way, but I just use it to showcase how lightweight this product is. And it's very easy to use. Simply hook it up to your laptop or desktop and then plug and play and you're good to go. Okay, this is our latest product, DoCam document camera, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Okay, so as you can see on the left-hand side of this picture, you can use that as a document camera once you hook it up to your laptop. As you can see, it's projecting the image of this paper onto the laptop. And on the right-hand side, you can use it as a webcam. In this case, it's pointing at the camera, at the person, so you can see the person's face on the laptop screen. Okay. Later on, we also have our recent release of our mirror cam. So what is a mirror cam? Mirror cam is essentially, as the name itself suggests, it comes with a mirror. Okay, a mirror right here. And what it does is that it transforms your laptop's camera into a visualizer, into a document camera, okay? How does it do? So as you can see the front picture, the front looks like this, and the back looks like this. Very small, very portable, very lightweight, very powerful at the same time. Like I said before, three common features of IPEVO's products. Once you open it up, as you can see, the mirror is right here, right? All you have to do is plug it in, and then you're good to go. Simply put this on top of your laptop's camera, and then you could use it as a visualizer, a document camera. Okay, in this scenario, the student on the left is using it to read a book with MirrorCam, and the student is learning about time with the help of a MirrorCam with his mom. In a real life scenario, in this case, as we all know that this pandemic is going on right now. For example, this little kid, the student right here on the left is taking notes while the teacher on the right-hand corner is teaching. And with the help of a device like a MirrorCam can simply make things, the entire learning session more efficient, more effective. How does it work? Simply put this MirrorCam on top of your laptop's camera, and then you can open up your, with the help of an IPEVO's Visualiser software, which I'm going to show you right here, right now. You have to open up IPEVO's Visualiser software, and then I'm going to put this MirrorCam on top of it, my laptop right now. And then at the back of MirrorCam, where it comes with a whiteboard like this. Okay, so you simply use this Visualiser software, and then with the help of this mirror function right here to rotate the image, and then voila, you can start writing on the board that comes with the MirrorCam. Okay, you can start teaching, whether it's assignments, whether it's quizzes, whether it's projects, anything that you want to share among your students and your teachers. This is a great tool to share. Okay, so this is a very effective way for students and parents and teachers to communicate in a sense of for distance learning, remote teaching, as well as remote working. Okay, so this is MirrorCam. Let's get back to our presentation right here. So later on, we also have a slightly modified release of Visualiser document camera called VCR. So what are some of the changes? As you notice, the color is more saturated. It's darker than before. It has bigger, more obvious font size than before, so it's easier for people to notice, to read. But more importantly, it comes with the USB Type-C hole right here instead of a USB type micro USB that we used to use. Okay, so these are the main difference between this one and the previous model of VCR. Okay, so it's the same thing as before. Basically, you can use it with your laptop, your desktop, with a USB cable, which comes with it, or you can hook it up to your TV or projector with an HDMI cable. Simply plug and play. And later on, we also feature our latest iDocument app icons. These are their latest icons. The one on the left is the regular iDocument app, and the one on the right is iDocument OTS. This is app icon. However, their interface are the same, so you don't have to worry about anything. If you've used it before, it's great. If you haven't tried it, we'll give you the chance to try it out later on at the end of this webinar, okay? And then we will have more product coming along later on, so please stay tuned to IPEVO's webinar, IPEVO's website, and our social media, okay? So let's direct our focus back to today's topic, Teach on YouTube. So Kit, will you please help us teach on YouTube? Thank you, Kit.
Thanks very much. That's really great. And it's great to hear about those products because there's absolutely loads of uses for them. And it's nice to hear from you guys and hear what they're actually intended for rather than just sort of deciding for ourselves. So this is called Teach on YouTube. Thank you so much to you all for tuning in. It's really, really great to be here. It's IPEVO is all about tools for the connected world, and this DoCam, this latest release from them, is the tagline of that is do what you love and share what you do. So just thank you very much to IPEVO for helping me to share what I do. Really, at this point, I'm really, really pleased for the opportunity. So I'm going to talk for about 45 minutes long, and there'll be a Q&A at the end, but just ask any questions about this as it comes up during the chat in the Q&A, and we'll get to those at the end. I'll try to keep it to that sort of timings. Today I'm just launching my new Kindle book called Teach on YouTube, which is really this talk, but in a lot more detail, and loads of things that I haven't maybe got time to talk about in that. It's loads from my experience, and it's intended for all people, from teachers to education brands, people who want to really utilize the power of YouTube to really get their message out there and help people out, and then and do educate them. Really, that's the aim of this. Stick around to the end as well, because I've got an offer that I'd like to make as well. There's our socials, IPEVO and my channel is the top two, and then us on Twitter as well as the two sort of main places. But you can also contact me, kit@gorillaphysics.com. And if you want to get hold of IPEVO and ask any questions like those about the availability, because they've been so popular during this lockdown period, it's been incredible for them, and it's a testament to the quality of their products and also that kind of brand message. So do what you love and share what you do. And I asked you these questions: who is your audience? What is your purpose? And what do you hope to achieve? And really that comes down to sharing what you do. For most people's answers, although they're massively varied in terms of the people they're trying to reach, in terms of the things they're trying to do, really it's all about doing what you love and sharing what you do. So that's great. So the reason why I ask you these questions at the start, and I ask these questions at the start of this book, is because as you work and as you live on YouTube, as you grow your channel, you can come back to these initial aims and goals and these purposes, and you can say to yourself, well, how am I achieving those things? And it helps you keep yourself in kind of check. It helps you keep things the right size in your life, and not needing to worry too much about whether or not you're getting views. And people spend a lot of time worrying about views and subscribers. And what I suggest you do is you think about those first two, especially the audience and the purpose, because where those two things actually overlap, where the audience comes together with purpose, is where you build your community. So when people come together with a reason, to a shared goal, a purpose that they all believe in, they all want to do, that's where you build a community. And that's the most powerful thing for growing on YouTube. So some of your audience is, well, students was the main one. There's students, and you need to know a lot more detail than that, really. You need to have a better answer than that. And most of you know age ranges, but you need to think about what type of student, not like demographics, but what brings them all together. There were people, but it was students from kindergarten level all the way through to adult learners. You know, people interested in crafts, people interested in music and arts. The SEND students, I think, is again an underserved area for YouTube. Younger kids and SEND, so that's all special educational needs and disabilities. That students with special learning needs, essentially, that is an underserved area of YouTube education right now. So you can make a big splash in that. Also parents, and also people wanting to help out other educators, which is something that I'm trying to do more on my channel, because it's something that I'm really passionate about and really enjoy. So knowing your audience is the start. So my audience today, and the reason why I asked you those questions was to get to know my audience. So who are these people that are watching right now? And I know that a lot of you are in the States. I know a lot of you are in Britain, and all the way around the world. I know that a third of you have already started YouTube channels, and hopefully you're here to look for that second part of the title, which is how to grow them. So you're interested in how to actually make your audience bigger. 2/3 have not started, that should say, I apologize. 2/3 haven't started yet. And a lot of you are teachers. A lot of you are tutors, and some of you are here because you're interested in marketing for brands, but you're all here because you're all educators. And I think that's what tells me who I'm speaking to, and to tailor my talk hopefully to you. And I think that there's some other reasons. These are some of the reasons that you guys gave. So that was your audience, your reasons for distance learning, remote learning, online learning, philanthropic reasons. So lots of people talking about helping out poorer communities, their communities, serving other people, hybrid or blended learning. So a mixture, which we're going to go into really now in this country in a large way, a mixture between online learning and home learning and school learning. That's blended learning or hybrid learning. Tutoring, people looking to expand their tutoring business. Lots of creative education. I'm really pleased to see that, because at heart I'm not actually a physicist, I'm a creative person. And loads of people talking about building businesses for themselves. Some people here for marketing for their own brands, some STEAM channels here, some science, technology, engineering, arts and maths channels, which I'm really interested to collaborate with you guys. So if you're interested in a spot on Gorilla Physics or a bit of shared alongside, work together. That'd be really useful. Loads of people looking to provide revision and catch up for their own classes, and loads of people talking about wanting the independence, and YouTube can give you that. And the best thing about all the reasons you gave, all your purposes, all your reasons for starting YouTube channels, they're all achievable. Every single one of them was actually achievable. So here's some other reasons, and these might give you other ideas. One reason why I started was just where the students go for explanations. A lot of people, one trending hashtag is actually YouTube is my teacher. Loads of people go to YouTube for explanations. It's also a convenient place to host and share video. That's a lot of people find that they can link to it from other places. It's just a really convenient, great place to do that. Did you know it's the second most used search engine? That's a really important statistic. So actually, after Google, and YouTube is owned by Google, of course, it's the second most used search engine. So it's where people go to type in search queries. So you can use search engine optimization to really grow your channel in that way. It's a good place to start a business. A lot of people are talking about that. Some people, you might want to be YouTube famous. Yeah, we all like that. We're all interested in numbers in some ways. And I would suggest for all of these, maybe a mixture of these reasons are good reasons to start YouTube. Maybe you think your explanations are better than what exists already. And really, all of these, in some ways, all of these really were my reasons for starting YouTube way back 5 or 6 years ago. So this is my channel. My channel is Guerrilla Physics. I'm just going to talk a little bit just to give you a background of my story, because really I want to share these things. Because if I knew what I knew now, I'd probably have got to where I am today quite a bit faster. So on the front of my channel, you see this: tutorials, exam techniques, and study skills. That's what I want the kids to know is the purpose of my channel. And okay, this was my first video. It got 9 views in its first week. Okay, not 9, 5. You can imagine putting it out there and thinking, looking at the viewing figures and thinking, oh my word, this is 9 views is all it got in its first week. Then this was another early video. It got 12 views in its first week. Okay, it's getting a little bit better. One problem with this, of course, is that I was probably thinking a lot of these views were my parents and people on Facebook, etc. And then this one, Hooke's Law, which is the exam paper question, then that got 1 view in its first week. So it just went nowhere, and they went nowhere fast at all, these videos. And this really could have been pretty demoralizing. And there are a lot of YouTube channels that are started and then they just stop because they can't get over this idea that these views don't immediately come. I was pretty sure I said that most of these numbers were just my friends and family. But then later that year, I started in February of 2015, and later that year, this happened. So this spike here around May, and you can probably guess why this massive spike around May. And you can imagine how exciting that was. 3,000, to go from those numbers, 12 views a week, to 3,000 views in a day was just, it was incredibly exciting. And the reason, obviously, is because during that time, that was in the run to exams. And actually, I think I was probably the only person that had a GCSE life cycle of stars video. And it meant that actually I was the one thing that was showing up in all these people's searching. All these people were looking for this tutoring. All these people were looking for this revision. And I was the one place they were finding it. So it gave me this massive encouragement to keep trying and believe that it was possible to achieve those goals that I'd set out. So Guerrilla Physics now, there's 600 or more videos on Guerrilla Physics live at the minute. There's around 1,000 views a day. That's kind of like now. And then that really increases in that massive way towards exam seasons. We haven't had an exam season this year in Britain, but that those numbers change throughout the year. It's lower at the moment, but it's different at different times. I've got 10,000 or more subscribers. I passed that milestone a couple of months ago. That's a really exciting milestone to reach, and 1 million views. And that's another really exciting milestone to reach. But those numbers, and I'm going to come back to those numbers just towards the end, because those numbers actually tell a different story when you dive down into the analytics and you find out what's really going on behind my channel. But I also have 2 books, and these books are for the GCSE physics students and one for A-level physics students. And that's something that I really enjoy doing. And now I've got a 3rd book, which is aimed at teachers. And that's really me trying to kind of cater some extra value, some value that people who are really keen on what I do on my channel can actually pay a little bit of money or get them for free on Kindle. Then they can actually put it a bit more into this channel and they can get more value for themselves. So it's a really useful way to think. Actually, when you get to this kind of point, you can diversify what you're offering beyond videos. And this is what you should maybe be thinking if you're thinking about marketing, or you're thinking of how to use this to build a business. This is a possibility, selling some products online. So why this now? Why have I focused on this, doing this chat right now? Well, because many of us have started making videos during lockdown. Many of us are now much more used to this type of thing, presenting on camera, using our computers to share and teach online. And I think there's a really important opportunity. But this is a common experience which I've seen by the connections that I've made on Twitter during this time. Common experience of I spent hours making a video lesson. And from a class of 30, I had 5 views and for an average of 34 seconds each. So that's going to be pretty demoralizing. You're making videos for your class and you find out that actually there's not many people are actually paying attention to them in your class, that you've actually, your audience. And there was a response to this that I didn't like, that went along the lines of, well, there's not a lot you can do about that. That's just the way it is. And my response was, yeah, there is loads that you can do about that. And that's a really key thing. And it's a most important message on YouTube. If you want to succeed, you want to grow your channel, here's the most important message. You have to keep your audience engaged. If you can make your audience stay through your videos, then no matter what else, YouTube will promote them for you. And that's a massive opportunity. Remember, that is the second largest search engine. It will try and link your video to people who are interested in that topic if your video keeps people through the video. If your videos can engage them, then YouTube will promote them and you'll succeed. And so this was my metrics for a video that I posted just to my class. And you can see the average view duration is not perfect. It's not wonderful. It's, I'm a bit annoyed that not all of them have viewed all the way through. And this is only a little way into the week where they'd shared it. But the average view duration was 14 minutes. And I'm not trying to show off here. I'm just trying to say there are ways that you can learn to keep people engaged in your videos. And if you do that, if you actually try and learn how to keep people engaged, then I promise you your channel will grow. Okay, so I just want to talk about using the visualizer just for a little while, because it's something that we do a lot in class in my school and in my department. We do a lot of modeling of answers. Okay, now a visualizer is kind of essential for this. Now, modeling an answer, sorry if I'm teaching people to suck eggs here, but modeling an answer is talking through how to decode, plan, answer, and check an exam question. So how do you actually work through an exam question? It's not just, here's the answer to the exam question. That's not modeling, that's just telling people the answers. So if you've got a visualizer or you're thinking of buying one, then here's one way to use them. So, and it's really important. It's much better than a lot of ways of modeling answers, because you're actually using the same equipment as the kids have to, and you're showing them how to use the exact same equipment. And we use a modeling technique called I do, we do, you do, and it's sometimes referred to as faded support. So tell me in the chat if you know this is the same language you do, or do you call it something else, this kind of faded support that we do. And I'm going to use my VZX. I'm just going to switch to that now. And that's the thumbnail for my video review of the VZX, by the way, if you're interested to check that out. So you're all seeing my VZX right now. And I'm going to just show you how I would model working with the density equation in my class at any time. And I'm just going to, it has frozen up. So I'm just going to restart that. I did wonder if that would freeze up at any point, but hopefully be pretty quick to get it back. Yep, and then I can show you also the push to focus button, which you have on the VZX, and turn the nice light on as well, which is just one of the things that sets it apart from the other visualizers. Okay, so great, we're back up and running. So density, and we're going to be using this this equation today. Density is mass over volume, and essentially I'm going to do this one, and then we are going to do this one, and Michael has kindly volunteered to be my class for this one.
Yes,
so thank you,
for sure.
And then you do well. All right, okay. You can see this question if you want to show off. I'm not going to stop and ask you all to do this, but if you want to put the answer to this last question in the chat, then do. do it. The gradual release model. Kelly has said this is called a gradual release model. So I'm keeping the method for myself and I'm gradually releasing it to the class. That's great. Thank you very much. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to identify the equation for the quantity I'm asked to calculate. That's step one. That's the first thing you do with a calculate question. Calculate the density of a rock with a mass of this and a volume of this. So here's my equation. I'm going to identify it. The equation is density is mass over volume. And then I'm going to identify the values in the question. And I'm going to check they're in appropriate units. So the values I have is mass, that's the M, and that is 2.5 kilograms. And the volume, the other value I have is volume, which is 0.3 meters cubed. Now I'm just going to check they're in appropriate units to use. Yes, we use mass in kilogram and we use volume in meters cubed. So I don't need to do any conversion here. Now I'm going to substitute the values into the equation, and now I rearrange if necessary as well. So, yeah. So the values into the equation, density is 2.5, that's the mass. I'm just putting the number where the M is in the equation. And 0.5 goes where the V is. Sorry, apologies, 0.3 goes where the V is. And then I'm going to reach for the calculator, enter the values into the calculator, put a unit on the end and check you're working. 2.5 divided by 0.3 gives me this value. Oh, here's a point where now I can model that that's not quite the answer you wanted to see. So with this calculator, the kids are all using the same thing. I have to press the S to D button to get a decimal. 8.3 recurring, and I'm going to round that to 8.3. The density is 8.3 and put a unit on the end. The unit is kilograms per meter cubed. Now, I do apologize if I'm putting anyone back to their high school physics days or anything like that, and this is a bit worrying, but Michael,
yeah, I missed those days,
you on the spot. And Michael's going to be my we do. So essentially now I'm still going through this on the board, so I can still identify if there's any misconceptions, if people didn't understand that. But Michael's going to tell me how to tackle this second question here in the middle.
So again, the same thing actually. It's just calculate the density of a metal cylinder with a mass of 4.8 kilogram and a volume of 0.15 meter cube, right? So first of all, identify the equation for the quantity you're asked to calculate. So
we're asked to calculate the density.
Yes.
So the equation is
P equals M over V.
That's a rho, actually. I'm just going to change it. It's not quite a P, but you know, we'll move on. Just so I know there might be physicists in the audience. The Greek letter rho. Okay, next step then, please, Michael.
And then identify the values in the question. Check they are in appropriate units.
Yeah. Okay. So what's my values in the question then? Have you got a mass?
Yes. So the mass will be 4.8 kilogram and volume will be 0.15 meters cube.
Great. And are they in appropriate units? Are they in the right units? Yeah,
yes,
they're okay.
They are.
Right, so I don't need to do any conversions at this point. Next step then?
Substitute the values into the equation, rearrange if necessary. So P,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, P equals 4.8 over 0.15.
Great, okay. And then what do I do next?
And then enter the values into the calculator, put a unit on the end, and then check through your working.
Okay, and it's also got that because it's modeling. I'm modeling, checking through the working. Have I done all the steps correctly? And have I got a sensible unit on the end? Right. Okay. And that's that. That's the modeling. The next thing I do is, well, what's the answer to the final one? We've got 2.91. I think there might be a rounding error for one or two of you. Yes, 2.92 because of the rounding there. The number after the 1 is a 6, so to 3 significant figures it's 2.92. But well done to everyone who's had a go. This is actually going to be a book. This is something that I found. It's a format that I found on Twitter. But yeah, I do. If you follow my Twitter account, actually, you can find this within my Google Drives that I share as well. So if you do want to do that, just ask at the end. Great. And modeling, loving this, says Sarah. We're modeling the modeling. Great. Perfect. Thank you very much. So I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint slides now, and hopefully I'm on time. Yeah, I'm going to try and talk for another sort of 20 minutes. So if you're doing all that and you're doing that in your classroom, or you're doing that because you're helping the kids out at home, then why not just press record and then share with everyone, share with the whole world? And that's how the Khan Academy started. Actually, he was just making tutorials for his cousins, and he decided, well, why not just whack them up on YouTube and see what happens, and hopefully you can help out more people that way. And the Khan Academy has grown to be one of the largest online learning websites. And he started a whole style of videos, and actually this kind of voiceover screen kind of started with him. And we call them the Khan style videos. They're always on a black background with vibrant colors, and they're always conversational in tone. They're always trying to chat through, this kind of like, conversational, like your mate is just sitting, chatting you through something, and trying to keep it light and keep it conversational. And this particular video, just basic multiplications, had almost 2 million views. And there's loads on the Khan Academy, and it's well worth looking for inspiration. But how can you actually do that yourself? And there's different ways to achieve educational videos. So here's a little table with lots of detail, but I'm just going to talk it through now. And as I said, all this detail and more is in the book that I'm promoting today as well. So I'm going to talk about types of video you can use, and what you're going to need to do that, and the cost for a good enough production value, which just means it's good enough for somebody to watch without being put off by the production value. So the first type of video is a talking head video, which is just somebody's head and they are talking to you. All you need for that really is your phone. But you can use any digital camera made in the last decade. If you look for something that's got a minimum of full HD resolution, I really recommend you get a tripod, so you're not got a shaky thing if you're going to use your phone or otherwise. A lavalier mic or a shotgun microphone is also really good. Those are just external mics, okay? They improve sound quality from just what your phone can record or just what your camera can do. And you need a lighting solution, so it doesn't need to be expensive. You can just use a big window. I shoot a lot of my videos just with the big window behind me, and I face the window with the camera pointing at me, and there's lots of light, lots of lovely diffuse light on my face, and it looks good. In fact, all the light from that video, the thumbnail at the top there, is pretty much just my window light. That's the first method, and that's one of the easiest ways really. And you can go mad in terms of how much money you can spend on that setup, but you keep it simple at the start and just try with your phone. Then there's the next one, voice over a presentation or a screen recording. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I've got you can see my face in your little window. You can see my PowerPoint. And I'm just talking over a screen recording. And you can record this through Zoom. You can record this in MS Teams or Google Classroom. And you can also use a really powerful bit of software called Open Broadcast Studio, which is basically like a TV studio for free on your computer. And that's what I use. That's what a lot of people use for making this type of video, or indeed live streaming. So I recommend you check that out. You can also do this with a screen recorder on any Android or iOS tablet, and you can write on the screen that way as well. And that's, as long as you've got whatever you're watching me on right now, then this is essentially a free way to make videos. You can start making videos for no cost right now. Again, a external microphone will usually do quite well, although microphones in phones are usually pretty good because they're phones and they need to capture sound. The last type is a voiceover hand-drawn, and I strongly recommend getting a visualizer for this type of thing. It's great for modeling. A USB mic goes really well with this. You're listening to me through a USB microphone, which you can just about see in my shot here, and hopefully you appreciate that's a nice, clear, nice bassy, nice crisp sound that you're getting through. Let me know, does it sound good on your end? Over the internet? Hopefully it sounds really good. And that, I would say, is about 200 quid. In fact, the VZX and VZR mics are actually really good. I was really pleasantly surprised. I was expecting it to be not all that good, to be honest, but actually the microphone that's built in, because it essentially is a USB mic, albeit a quite small one, the VZX and VZR mics are very good microphones, and they do sound good. So that's about 200 quid. Let's say the VZR is going to be about 200 quid. Or you can actually use IPEVO's i.cam app and turn your phone into a visualizer. I mean, that's nearly free by the subscription, or the one-time purchase is a very cheap solution. You also have the mirror cam option now as well. But I would say that sort of, to do that well, you want to outlay that kind of money. Okay, now I want to talk about strategy. And really, we talked about audience at the very front of this webinar for a very good reason, because your audience dictates the strategy. Your audience is the same thing as a strategy. Your strategy should be all about your audience. And remember, YouTube will promote your videos if you're doing, if you're keeping people through them and you're getting your strategy right. And your strategy should be about a value proposition for your audience. So what do your videos offer for your audience? What problem do you solve for your audience? What do they find? Why do they want to watch your content? And you tell them that, you say what the value is, and you ensure your content delivers on it. You say at the beginning, you say at the end, and you ensure that your content actually delivers on it. So for my channel, my audience is committed students that are looking for ways to ensure they get the highest grades possible. I should have put in physics there, but it's not just that, because I also talk about study tips as well. So my audience, the people I'm interested in, are the people looking for the top grades. It's just a choice I've made. I'm going to look for the top grades. That's what my audience are going to be. And my value proposition is that Guerrilla Physics teaches you how to get the A star. So my value proposition, I'm saying my channel is the way you're going to find out how to get the highest grades possible. Now, I want to just briefly talk about how that changes slightly when you're looking at a marketing strategy on YouTube. So those of you that are interested in business, they're interested in promoting products online, then this is a slightly different angle on that. The audience still dictates the strategy. Remember that, and that's the most key thing. The audience is the same thing as the strategy. Remember this, you must have value in the actual videos. The video has to present some value itself. And then the product that you're selling presents 10 times that value. So you need to be giving on your YouTube channel, you need to be giving value for free on these videos. And then once you have a large audience, who know, like, and trust your brand or yourself or your channel, once you have these people that are keen on you and they trust you, then they'll be willing to pay for your product. So think about it like this, you're giving away free value, free value, free value, free value, free value. And then you're going to ask them to pay for a product. You're not saying you're going to stop giving them the free value unless they pay, but you're saying here's a product that will give you more of the value that you have. So, in the model that I'm doing right now, here's a free webinar, and thank you to IPEVO for organizing this and sponsoring it. But the value is the book that, well, all right, I'm also giving that book away for free currently, but it is a book that is a digital product that I hope will go on and sell more in the future. So that's how marketing works. I think the biggest thing is you don't start by advertising. People don't choose to watch adverts. They choose to watch YouTube videos, and they don't mind if there's a bit of marketing in there. They understand that. They know that they're watching a business. So just bear that in mind. Don't start by making here's my great product. Start by making here's how to complete this. Here's how to solve your problem. Marketing idea is don't sell a mattress, sell a good night's sleep. But think about the way Apple products are sold. They're not sold on the specs. They're sold on what you can do because you've got an Apple product. That's good marketing. So I want to just talk about a simple video structure, because I know a lot of you are starting YouTube. So think about a simple video structure like this. In the first 6 seconds, confirm the value that you promised in the title. So if you promise to teach them how to do this thing, in the first 6 seconds, say, this video is going to teach you how to do this thing. Get straight to the point and start delivering that value straight away. Then you can have a short intro if you like, and you can ask them to subscribe. You can give them a cue to subscribe. You should tell them why you subscribe and tell them your whole channel value proposition, but keep it really short, please. And then you start delivering the major content of the video, so whatever you're teaching. And that can take as long as it needs. It should take, in fact, as long as it needs. It doesn't need to be a certain length. There's no perfect length for YouTube. YouTube videos tend to be between 5 and 15 minutes, but there's no perfect length for YouTube. It's just as long as it takes to explain what you're going to explain. Give the audience what you promised, make it as concise as possible, deliver it clearly with appropriate pace, and don't slow right down. It feels like I'm talking really fast at the minute. Tell me if I am, but I think this is an appropriate pace to talk on camera, not slow too down. And if you talk for ages, then chop it into discrete sections. If you think it's too long still, then chop it into separate videos. But it take as long as you need, as long as the topic takes to explain. And then 20 seconds, a final call to action, and you can also think about handing off to the next video. So what do you want them to watch to next? And that's the way to move them around on your channel. All right, if you like this, then go ahead and watch this thing next. point to other videos, tell them to go to a website, subscribe, buy your book, whatever you want to do. So I've talked about different types of videos, but I want to talk about different categories of videos now. And this is when you're writing your strategy, you should think about different categories of videos. And here's my 3 kind of categories. First one is searchable videos. That's the easiest way to get views when you're just starting out. The next one is suggested videos. So these are videos that you know that your established audience will watch, and they're ones that YouTube is going to suggest alongside other videos or in people's feeds. And then there's hero videos, and they're videos from your core audience, the people who really like your channel, the people that, you know, who are really keen and are going to come back. And here's 3 examples from my channel. You can see this first one, AQA GCSE Physics Paper 1, has a very searchable title. So this one is to be found by people by search, and then it's to get them into my channel and to get them to subscribe. So it's a very searchable title because loads of kids search for, they want to know everything there is to know about AQA GCSE Physics Paper 1. Then there's one for views. So I know if I write a video, if I make a video which is how to study effectively, the people who subscribe to my channel, the viewers of my channel, they will watch this content. They're interested in this thing. It's a tried and it's true formula that you know, I update regularly, and that gets views. It just does. These are the titles I know work. And that gets views. And then there's the hero videos, the one for you. So the one for the people that really like you, that really are into you, that really are into your channel, the one who are actually like you, and the ones that you're actually saying, this is my message. And actually, do you know, this is the one that pleases you the most as well. And I think they're a really important part to having any strategy. Perhaps fewer of those than the other 2, especially when you're starting. But don't forget to please yourself on YouTube, because otherwise you'll feel this burnout. You know, when the process of video making is very long and drawn out process to do it well. So don't forget to satisfy yourself. These are all just different. They all do different jobs for your strategy. And I want to talk about search engine optimization, and I want to talk about optimizing for suggestion, because that's the way to really get large numbers of views. If that's what you're interested in growing, then that's the way to do it. Now, remember, your thumbnail gets the click. Okay, you need to make it stand out, and think about different is better than better. Hopefully you can see that the thumbnails of my videos, they're things that they're enticing people to click. And then watch time gets you suggested and allows you to appear higher in search. So these 2 metrics that you need to focus on when you're growing your channel are CTR and watch time. Now, CTR means click-through rate. So that means how often your video is shown, how often do they actually click on it? How often do people actually select your video out of a bunch of videos that are shown to them? And watch time is, all right, how long do they then stay into the video? So CTR, click-through rate, and watch time are the 2 things to look at when you're building your channel, look at to get right. And you see how these different thumbnails, they actually, they entice you to click. And these have come from a search that I did on just the word education. That's all I searched for, and this was just education. And I got this one, first of all, what's education for? These aren't the top 3, but these are 3 really kind of highly promoted videos, and they've got lots of views. And you can see, what am I expecting based on this thumbnail, based on this title? I'm probably expecting an explainer type video. I'm probably expecting some animation. I'm probably expecting quite a serious video that's going to tell me, you know, what's the purpose of education? And then the first line kind of confirms that. Okay, I'm going to click on that. Now, I will stay in that video. I will stay in that video if it provides that value that I was expecting, if it doesn't let me down. Okay. This next one that came up, now interestingly, this video doesn't even have the word education spelt correctly in its title or on its thumbnail. But what am I expecting with this video? I'm expecting something that is about the problems in education, even though the description doesn't tell me that. It is, you know, all right, we're teaching kids, but they can't spell the word education. We're doing education, but they can't spell education, that type of thing. And look, that's a problem. I can see from the thumbnail, that's a problem we all feel in school a little bit, don't we? We're looking to the people who are really in focus, you know, the girl at the front there, who's a really focused student who does well all the time. And maybe some of us feel like the one at the back who feels uncomfortable, out of place and nervous at school. So we're already telling the story. So the people who are going to click on this, they're not expecting a serious run through of why education is what it is. They're expecting something that's a little bit nervy, something, and actually it's a comedy, something that's very interesting as well. And that's why that one's doing well. And then the last one, I sued the school system, is a very clickbaity title, but Prince EA is showing you that you're going to have a really high quality production here. You're going to have something that's given a lot of high quality writing going into it, and actually it's a poem. You know, Prince EA, if you haven't seen them, actually makes poems, visual poems, and they're brilliant. So I definitely recommend seeing them. But we know what we're going to get when we click, so therefore we don't abandon the video straight away. And that's what you need to fight. All right. So if you get people to click, great. But then you want them to stay. So click through rate and watch time. Get them to click, get them to stay. That's the important things. And these are some of my own audience retention graphs. Okay. Now for each one, ignore the initial fall. So this is the length of a video, how many people stay through the video. This one is not performing very well. Now, although it falls initially quite a lot, the problem with the video is not that it falls quite a lot, it's that it continues to fall steadily to basically none at the end. So this video doesn't get promoted a lot by YouTube because people only stay on average about a quarter of it. Okay, so even though I might have loved that video, it's not going to do well. This video does a little bit better. The reason why the first video doesn't do very well is because it doesn't deliver what they're expecting. They click on it and then it doesn't give them what they're expecting, so they leave. This video is doing okay, but not brilliant. Okay, now on average, about 80% of the video, people actually decide to watch the video. 80% of the audience decide to watch the video, but then suddenly they all start leaving about a third of the way through. And what I can do here is I can actually find that video and I can look at it and I think, well, what did I do or say at that point that meant everyone left? And that's a really important thing to learn from. I can learn from that video, the mistakes I made there. But actually, the video is going to do okay because on average, they're staying for the majority. Okay. The next one, the last one, this video is doing really well. This video is doing great. Now, although, look, not many more people stay to the end. The point is that this video has a flatter curve. So this video, actually, people stay initially, and then some of them leave during the first period, and you'd expect that. But then the people who decide to stay, and it's about half of them, do stay. That section, the last section of the graph, is pretty flat. And if YouTube likes anything, it's a flat retention curve. It's a curve that shows that people who do stay, people who are interested in your video, actually stay through. And then YouTube will try and match those people up. Yeah, the graphs are made by YouTube. You can get that in... you can get that in your analytics. The watch time is the key. So remember, watch time is what we want from to be successful on YouTube. We want them to stay through the video. So the longer people actually stay watching your videos, the more likely YouTube is to recommend them. So this is called the funnel. And the funnel is YouTube's new way of showing you CTR and watch time, click-through rate and watch time. How much do people click? How much they actually stay through. And this is a record of my calendar year between October 2018 and September 2019. And this is just when YouTube showed a thumbnail to people. It doesn't include direct links. And they've shown it to people 3.8 million times and 4% click-through rate, which is normal on YouTube. It's not bad. You think about it, if they showed my thumbnail 100 times, four of those times they'd be clicked on, which is not bad. If it would take probably 25 videos, if my video was one of 25, then that might be the one that's picked. And then how many views you get, but importantly, the average view duration, it's not bad again for YouTube, 3.25 minutes, but importantly, 8.8 thousand hours, which actually is 367 days if you're interested. Okay, so just from YouTube suggesting my content, then my channel has been watched for an entire calendar year during that period of time. Now that is pretty good, and that's why my videos will be suggested. But YouTube's going to do that on an individual video basis, but you can see this funnel for an individual video basis as well. But those are the things to focus on. This one here, click-through rate and the actual watch time. Okay, I hope that's been really useful for you so far. I'm going to just really whiz quite through blended learning and hybrid learning now, because I'm getting towards the point where I want to stop to ask any questions. But if you guys have any questions, then do just chuck them in there, and I'll have a 10-minute chat on at the end, if that's okay. We do need to be aware that Michael is quite late for Michael over there.
No, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm still alive.
So blended learning, we'll do it quickly, and then we'll move on to the Q&A. So blended learning or hybrid learning for me is a process of selecting for each objective and for each group, each class, it could even be for each kid, where you're going to be on this sliding scale. Are you going to be way over here teaching in a traditional model, all the learning belongs to the teacher in the class, or are you going to be over here teaching a more flipped model? Actually you're going to show them the information out of class and they're going to come in and do some work in class. Now, in a traditional lesson, before the lesson, you were actually probably thinking about the previous lesson. So your homework from the previous lesson was a conclusion, if you like, a consolidation of the previous topic. And then you come into the lesson and you start a new topic with foundational learning, the know and describe kind of learning. And then the teacher moves on to the more conceptual, operational. And then at the end of the lesson, normally there's a quiz. And then you go on to maybe some evaluative learning, which is the really hard stuff, by the way, or you could use it for consolidation. And that's good. In my opinion, that's good. It's still a good model. There's nothing wrong with it. You can use it for consolidation afterwards. But I want to be able to move that evaluative stuff, the hardest stuff within the lesson. I want to be able to give them support on the hardest things in the lesson where I can support them. So before the lesson, in a flipped model, I'm going to deliver the foundational stuff. And that's where my videos come in. So my videos are focused on the definitions they need, anything like that. And then I'm going to actually assess them on the way into the lesson. And that's what I did with you guys. I sent you a list of questions, and actually I found out what you were like so I could try my best to pitch this to you at the right level. So in the chat, tell me if I've got this level right for the majority of you. And then you can actually change whether you need to spend more time on the foundational, or you can go on to the harder stuff, the conceptual, operational, evaluative stuff in the lesson. And then after the lesson, you're already getting them thinking about the next thing. The nice thing is, I always like as well, you can tell them what the next thing is and they can do that. So what you're doing in blended learning is, rather than saying, I'm going to exclusively teach flipped or exclusively teach traditional, you're thinking about the objectives and where they go. If it's a high demand objective, are you keeping that for yourself in the classroom? If it's a low demand objective, are you going to actually ship that out to the learning at home because you reckon they can get it? Is it about your individual class? Is it a class with low prior attainment, perhaps lower ability class, a class that you're expecting to find this harder? Then you're going to maybe stick to a more traditional model, maybe deliver some things beforehand, but less. Or maybe a high prior attainment class, you're going to trust to do a bit more of the flip learning. So that's blended learning for me. And there's just some things that my experience of trying it, there's 3 things I think you need to get right to get blended learning right. And I hope this is a useful piece. This slide is really useful for you if your schools are still in lockdown or you're having to teach online for a significant portion of time. You have to teach them to learn how to use videos. So you have to teach them to learn from videos. You have to teach them to use a video as a study aid, okay, rather than watch the video. They don't watch, they study a video. You have to make a decision between flipped and traditional for every objective and for every group. You can't just say, right, that's my top set. They are going to always do flip learning. Off they go. You have to be continuously making that judgment as to whether you're going to use flipped or traditional for each objective and every group. And you have to assess what they've learned on the way into the classroom rather than the way out of it. Okay. And you have to do that you have to assess at the start with great precision to ensure they don't have misconceptions from the study that they've done out of the lessons. Okay. So just really going to sum up now, and then we'll do the Q&A. I think we're at a point where we should make use of these new skills that we've got in education. We've had a massive change forced on us, but we should embrace that. This is the first time I've ever done a webinar on Zoom. I've really enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful. But you guys have been doing similar things, having meetings online, getting used to teaching online. Why not? Let's bring that skill onto YouTube. YouTube education is vastly grown so quickly. Let's use it. Let's do it as teachers, as educators. Let's put our stuff out there for everyone to benefit. Okay. Now, if you need a little why, okay, think back to your audience and your purpose. My audience has grown to really quite large, and I've had in the lifetime of my channel, 6 years, 500,000 unique viewers. So I mentioned at the start, 1 million views. All right, that doesn't really tell all of the story, because each of those on average watched about 2 videos. So actually that's 500,000 people that have seen my channel. But let's dive down into that, because 2 videos is not a lot. And remember, a lot of people, they leave quite quickly from, you can see those audience retention graphs. A lot of people ditch the videos. Okay, so I'm going to ignore them. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to divide that by 10 already to tell you about the people that are actually engaged. But okay, me as one teacher, I've had 50,000, let's say it's a rough idea, 50,000 people who have been interested in my channel, who have thought to themselves, yeah, this is the channel for me. This is the channel that can help me get that grade A star, that grade 9, the highest grades. And that's an amazing number of people to teach. And, they haven't just watched 1 or 2, they've watched several. And that's why I continue to be excited about doing this, and why I think that you guys should go on a journey as well. Thank you once again. And just the plug then, I'll give you all the free content and then the thing after it, which is currently free. So do go and get it and let me know, rate it on Amazon if you like it, and email me and tell me, or find me on Twitter and tell me why you don't like it if you don't like it. It's got 3 kind of sections that talk about your reasons and goals for being on YouTube. And it does a big section on technical bits. So if you need technical help on how to do this, that's the main kind of middle section. And then making a brand and actually, sharing that out on YouTube is the last section. That'd be most interesting to anyone interested in business or marketing, but everyone should be thinking on YouTube about their brand. There are activities throughout it, and it's designed to go from just setting your goals, so just starting without any experience of making videos, to getting your goals. So you can kind of follow this through, and I really hope that you take this book for free today and you use it as a resource as you grow your YouTube channel. And I really hope you check back in. It's free from the 18th to the 22nd, and then after that it'll be a paperback and on Kindle as well. And there's always a way to get it for free, because it's in the Kindle Unlimited. So with the free trial of Kindle Unlimited, you can get that as well. And I, for one, feel a lot more connected to the education community. I think that's probably the only benefit for the education community, is how we perhaps all feel a bit more connected following our global situation at the minute. And IPEVO have been a big part of that, and they not just tell you the benefits of the visualizer. It's something I've always loved having in a classroom as a visualizer, but also they're engaged in collaborating with people like me and making this possible. So thank you very much. And I just sort of reiterate that their latest kind of marketing message for their DoCam: do what you love and share what you do. And I would just see that as being something that you guys can all be a part of, and your reasons and your aims and your audience do it, and use these tools for our connected world. Here's just the socials back again. Thank you so much for your time. That's a really precious commodity, is your time. And if I said I'm going to make you an offer, I'd love to talk to anyone personally about your projects. So there's my email down there as well. I'm going to offer, subject to availability, because I'm a full-time teacher and head of science and full-time dad as well. And I'm going to offer you a video call if you would like to, if you want to talk about your channel, and we can look through your analytics, we can discuss your ideas. Just email me and we can get talking. I'd love to start making more connections. If you're an education company, then contact me, because that won't be free. That service wouldn't be free in that case, and we can talk about what my time is worth for you. But definitely it's worth you starting with that, this book, and having a little look through there, because there's loads more detail on all of those things. And I think I just about did my 45 minutes. Thank you very much. Probably a little bit more than that, maybe 50 minutes. Thank you. And back over to you, Michael.
Sure. Kid, do you want to answer some questions that people have asked you? Let's say, well, have you looked over the questions sections yet?
Yeah, let's have a little look through the question sections. Why not? Going back, we call it scaffolding. I think that's absolutely right. VZR is the visualizer people have had. Can I? Rehearsal. I talk about rehearsal and scripting. What to do? There's 2 schools of thought, really. You can either outline your video and just talk, or you can script. Now, both can seem really unnatural and forced. Okay, but I would suggest probably you script more at the beginning. And then as you get used to talking on camera, then you can maybe just do, you can maybe just go for an outline. You know, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say this. It depends on what you're talking about. Depends if it's a really important thing. You know, if it's something really high level that I want to get an exact message across, then I'll script that part. If it's not something really high level, if it's something that I feel like confident in talking through, then I'll just go ahead and do that. So it depends, basically. I hope that helps there. Nicholas asks if the graphs were made by YouTube. Yeah, that's the analytics part of YouTube. Don't spend too much time in the analytics and worrying about the numbers, but there's loads you can learn if you know where to look. So I would also just say that the YouTube Academy is really, really good at just telling you all about how to make videos and how to know how well they're doing. So you use those, and there's loads of people out there who their audience is people trying to make YouTube channels, and they are trying to teach you, the tips and tricks of the trade. Really, it's a lot of what I've gone through there, but I've tried to tailor that to an education audience. So yeah, the analytics is really useful. You can also be teaching a technique with multiple steps, and then people start leaving after they're reminded of the step they've forgotten. Absolutely, yeah. So the one, I said you'd have to teach people how to learn from videos. Yeah, well, there's a real benefit to videos and a real flaw, which is that you can rewind videos, and you can also leave them at any time. So there's this kind of like, it's great that people can rewind and they can choose when to do it and they can take the time over videos, but you have to tell them that's possible. So if they, if they struggle because they've lost your explanation, they need to know, all right, just put it back 20 seconds and start again. Like you can rewatch. You have to teach them to study a video. I think that's a really important thing for us all. Have I ever filmed myself working a problem on a whiteboard? Yes, I have. Yeah. The problem with working on a whiteboard for me is that your back's to the camera, but I have a really nice idea, and there's one creative video edit you can do. You can have this idea for free, right? Is that you can put two videos on at the same time on a video, so you film two things. You could film yourself actually drawing on the whiteboard, and then you could also film yourself standing in front of the whiteboard and talking. So you could just be in the video on two sides of the screen, and well, there's no reason why you can't do that. So there's loads of creative ways you can do this. I don't like to have my back to the camera, and also you need to be close to a microphone to have it sound as good as it can. And if you turn around and start mumbling, then you'll find that the sound doesn't sound as good. So yeah, I would try and use some of the methods that I gave there. What does teaching them how to study a video look like? Making notes and learning. It could different things for different classes, I think, James. Mr. Grace there. I've made a video called How to Learn from Videos, so it might be worth checking that out. And it's where I think most importantly, it's that bit about you can look back, but also it's put away other screens, because loads of people, when they watch TV with another screen in front of them. They watch TV with their phone out or their laptop, or so you just got to really make it clear to them, you're not watching a video, you're studying it. So put away the distractions. Thank you all so much. I think I've answered all the questions there. If there's any other questions, then just nice and quick, really, just in the chat if there's anything else. Yeah, I can put a copy out on the why don't I put I'll put a Google Drive link on Twitter, if that's okay, and you can find that later. If you come and follow me on Twitter, then you can find that there. I hope that's all right. I don't know if we can include that. Michael will tell me if we can include that in the kind of follow-up email that comes out after this.
Sure, we can look into that later.
Great. Okay, guys. Well, okay. I'm going to say thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Kid. Let's give Kid a round of virtual applause. Thank you so much. It was so informative, so wonderful, so knowledgeable. So yeah, I'm sure all of us who have participated in this webinar have learned tons of precious information on how to start your own YouTube channel, manage your own YouTube channel, and grow your own YouTube channel. So no matter what purpose you're trying to reach with your own YouTube channel, I wish you all the best. So just go back home and try it out with start creating your own YouTube channels and videos, and then see how things go, right? Yeah, just get started. And then share all the information that you've learned today with your friends and families and colleagues. and then just start your own YouTube channel. And then if you have any questions, email us at sales@ipevo.com or email me at michaelpye@ipevo.com. And then we'll email a survey to those of who participate in this webinar later on. And then once you fill out the survey, you'll get a chance to use our iDocCam app for free till the end of the year. So don't miss out on this wonderful chance. It's a really wonderful app that allows you to use your own cell phone and transform your cell phone into a document camera for remote working, remote teaching purposes. You get a chance to win one of those apps later on. So once again, thank you so very much, Kid. And then
thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. And then I'll see you guys next time. Okay. Stay tuned for IPEVO's website. Check out IPEVO's YouTube channel. Check out IPEVO's social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. And then, yeah, shoot us some emails if you guys have any questions. All right. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Kid. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Stay well. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.